All right now, if you are into TikTok, this is the session for you. Our friends Deb Zeman and Amanda Hunt are back together again. And the session title is TikTok You Don't Stop, uses social media to promote books. Now, there is a thriving community on TikTok. So don't let anybody scare you away. You need to be a part of this community too. So on that note, I'm going to give the controls over to Deb, and you
Okay.
guys can just take it away, and I'll let you know that I can see your screen. Okay.
Okay, let's see. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
All right, I'm just going to pop it in to present. And there we go. Okay. Well, yes, we're back. Welcome, everybody. Amanda, you want to go first?
Sure. So the bit.ly at the top is definitely, we'll have it at the end too. But it's TikTok You Don't Stop Boss. And it's a way for you guys to go and take a little bit of another look. Like James said, we have 30 minutes, so we're gonna go as fast as we possibly can.
Which we've done it in 25.
That is true. We have. So we know it can be done.
Yes.
My name is Amanda Hunt. I am a middle school librarian in South Central Texas. And I, like Deb, love using social media. And we're going to talk about how we do it to share our love of books.
And I am Deb Zeman. I am in North Texas at a STEM middle school. And I'm not as much as a TikTok queen as Amanda is. She makes it a point of recording every day. But we do both really, really enjoy using all the different apps out there. And the one thing we will tell you is do not be afraid to try. Start with one, and then you start to broaden your horizons. Oh, yeah, and I forgot. It's not Twitter anymore, it's X. We gotta change that. In my brain, it'll always be Twitter. So whatever. Okay.
So yeah, we definitely are talking, and I feel like social media is kind of a hot topic lately, like Casey said, because it is getting a lot of negative press. Like, so with Deb saying that Twitter is now X, like, it's really interesting right now how all of these companies are competing against one another. But I just know that my PLN is on these platforms, whichever one you do use. And then also our students are using these platforms. And so I use it as another way to connect with people outside of my little area, right? We talk about our PLN. And it's so important for us to have like that far reaching aim, like as far as we can get to share the books. And that's the other issue of everything that's going on with book banning right now. We definitely want to make sure, Twix. I like that name. Let's call it Twix. And so we want to talk about how you can definitely use social media for our benefit in the library and education community.
Right. So we were talking about use a different platform in a different way. It depends on what your strength is. Okay. Amanda's all about TikTok. I love using Instagram and X or whatever we want to call it. And that's the one that I felt more comfortable with. But then watching Amanda, I'm not a fan of putting my face out there. But when I get the boxes of books, like I had gotten a big order at the end of the school year, I got like 12 or 13,000 views on that video out of nowhere, probably because I put the right hashtag. And that's the other thing you're going to do is learn what hashtags work for which platform. And again, it's all about your comfort level. That's how we all got started.
For sure. So like you, Deb and I both have branded ourselves so that we are easier to find across platforms because we don't want to make it hard for people that are trying to find our profiles and things like that. And if you don't want to use like a brand like as yourself as a librarian, you can use your school, you can use your library. Just make sure that you are following your district's or your public library's social media guidelines. And then and also like for us, we're very much aware of what we put out there, even on a brand, because we are public accounts that anyone could find. And so I'm always aware of that in my mind. If my students found this, would that be okay? Is the question I ask myself before I post anything. And then you want to post your content. And like Deb said, it doesn't have to be this full blown long 30-minute video or, a graphic that took you 2 hours to make. Like, we're just about sharing the books, sharing the information, and it doesn't have to be like crazy, beautiful, edited like a Hollywood film. Like, honestly, we're just trying to get it out there. So I have definitely used different accounts. Before the pandemic, I was using my school library. But then all of this stuff started happening with Black Lives Matter, and I was posting about it. And I felt like that was when I needed to kind of separate myself from my school library. And I branded myself during that time. You are welcome to have two. You're welcome. I mean, whatever you feel like you can manage, right? We don't want to overload you. That's what this is, the opposite. We do not want to do that. Picking one is great to start with, and then figuring out the algorithm and the hashtags and who to follow, and definitely, following through like that. A personal one is great too, because then you can post whatever you want as a personal private citizen.
Like, I run our school's Facebook and Twitter account. Now we're about to start an Instagram. So I have to remember, okay, which page am I posting on before I actually send it out there, because you have the ability in the apps to switch really fast. So I don't want to be like, if I'm yelling about something and oops, I put it on my school one. There goes the screenshot. So consistency, really, really, really important. Amanda, like I said, she's very consistent about a 7-second post out on TikTok, done. We try to post every day. I got a little backlog with school being back in, with not being able to post about the current read or the book I just read. So again, the more you post, the more accounts you're going to attract. But the other thing that's really important is also be consistent with your hashtags. I know I watch what Amanda posts. And so what I did is I put everything in a Google Keep. So if I'm posting about a YA fiction, I've got all those posts, hashtags. If I'm doing middle grade fantasy or YA romance, I just has to go back in, copy paste, and it's there. But then I also watch other librarians to see, oh, wait, I never saw that hashtag before. So I can add that in, and that'll attract more. So again, the more you post, the more you're going to get account attraction, I guess that's the word. Or account traction.
And for us, it's not really about like, oh, I want to be a social media influencer. It's more about, I want to connect with other librarians that are like me, or I want to connect with my students or my patrons in the ways that they are getting their information daily, right? So let's talk about some of the apps that you can use and to be successful. TikTok, obviously, very controversial. You hear lots of things about TikTok. And here in Texas, it was actually banned from government computers. So our sad, like, public library isn't using it right now. And so it can be controversial. However, when I got on in 2019, I quickly found my little people, right? And my For You page now is just educators and librarians. There's some random celebrities that I'll follow like on my own, but the algorithm knows that like I'm an educator and that's what I want to see. And so they're definitely, they pay attention to the videos you like, the videos you watch, the ones you save. And that's what they'll show you. And so this one, if you have like a crazy like personal account that you follow all kinds of people on, maybe take a separate one for a library on this one, just because the algorithm is so particular on TikTok, and it really does show what they think you want to see. And so I love showing my face because I don't care if the kids make fun of me. In fact, the more cringe content I can make, the better. But Deb, you want to talk about your First Line Friday?
Oh, right. So a couple of years ago, I believe it was Andrea Keller had been doing videos of First Line Friday. So I was like, how did you do that? Oh, I do it in Canva. And so I went on Canva and I taught myself how to do it. And so I go and I schedule out not on TikTok, but on Instagram, First Line Fridays. And I've been getting a following because of that. And I do the hashtag First Line Friday. I do the hashtag librarians of TikTok. And that's how I get that information out there. And the video that I post on TikTok is the same one that I'll post into my library Canvas course for the kids to see. I had one TikTok I had done. It might have been the books I have read this year. And sure enough, there was a parent of one of my students said, hey, my son just said, that's my library lady, you know, so they're out there, they're watching, and, you know, you want to be careful. Instagram, of course, that's the best way to go out there. Show what you're doing. Like Amanda does those great, here's what I'm currently reading in print and ebooks and listening to. And so when I see she's out there doing it, I quickly do the screen grab and then I'll post mine. We do the monthly recap of how many books we read. And it also is a motivator for us to, okay, we got to pick it up a little bit because there's so many books. My TBR is just, I don't know, I have way too many ARCs that are digital. So, and then of course there's Clubhouse, which got really big during the pandemic. And I had started a library house because there was no library. I searched for library and I got Liberia. I was like, okay. So I started one and then all of a sudden there comes our friend Casey. And I've basically been like, yep, I'm going to let her do that because it really is her thing every Sunday night, and I'll jump on when I can. And I've gotten into the audience, I've gotten on the stage. So again, it all depends on what you are comfortable with to use.
Yeah. So
And then
ask
go
in the
ahead.
chat real quick about First Line Friday. It is where you read the
Oh,
first line
sorry.
of a book and you kind of tease the students with that, and then it gets them curious about
Right.
reading the title.
And when I do it, I'm searching for a video background that's related to whatever the theme or the storyline is. So if there's something with fire, it's going to have flames going through that. And I always tend to find that kids find that, or like blood spatter because there's a mystery for a murder. And kids are just like, I've had kids come in saying, can I have that book, please? So like one of the things I'm doing, I had done this big project with bookmarks. I'm making a couple of the First Line Fridays to entice the kids to check out the books of the bookmarks that are on my wall. So we do have a lot more. Do we want to just like, since we have so many, we can.
Hive is one that's, you know, started whenever everybody was leaving Twitter. It's kind of fallen down now.
Yeah.
Snapchat, the kids are definitely on it. And so for me, I use it with my 6-word book talks. So literally just 6 words to describe a book. And I use the fun little filters. And then Goodreads, you should know, if you've heard about Goodreads, it's a great way to see what other people are reading, to recommend books to each other. So I definitely love using Goodreads.
Yeah. And then Twitter. Oh, you did change it. You're so good. Twitter X. I'm still out there. I'm still doing my book recs. I'm still posting until it goes away, because who knows what'll happen. Luckily, people are transitioning over to other ones. YouTube is another. I used to do that, but now with TikTok and being able to post on Instagram, again, it's a great place to put your book trailers out there, especially if you really want to do a big book talk for 3 or 4 minutes, 5 minutes, you've got it and you can post it out on your Canvas platforms or wherever your LMS is. And then Amanda, you are familiar with Storygraph.
Yeah, so if you do like using Goodreads, I wish that Goodreads would adopt the features that Storygraph has implemented. And so what you can do is upload your whole collection of books that you have read into Storygraph. It doesn't take very long. But what they do is they take your reading journey and they put it into data format. So all of those that love James' presentation with data, like who doesn't love data? It definitely, it shares, you know, how much of a genre you're reading, how many BIPOC books you've read, LGBTQIA+, like it talks about content warnings. Like it's a really, really great feature. I love that part of it. And I just wish Goodreads would implement it a little bit. But yeah, together they are the perfect reading platform.
And it's nice to, at the end of the year, take your Goodreads, dump it in there, and then there's all your stats of what you've read. But it'll tell you, ooh, I got to read more of this. I got to read more of that. So,
and as librarians, I feel like that's such a big part of our job, is to make sure we're reading so many different types of genres and age groups so that we can recommend to our students.
right.
Threads, the new Twitter with Instagram.
Yeah. The thing that was nice with Instagram, it does, not Instagram, Threads, it does pull all your followers over from Instagram into Threads. But what I'm also finding too is I'm finding other authors that I had never, didn't even follow on Instagram are now following me, because I have to remember, I got to post it on Instagram. I got to throw it out on Twitter. And now I need to throw it on Threads. You have the ability to take your post on Instagram and share it. But it's like, okay, well, then they have to click it to get the link to see what I reviewed. I just go and I do a much shorter one. And I've seen Amanda do it too, of a book review. So, and then there's Blue Sky.
You want to be careful with sharing. Like, there are apps like If This Then Then or whatever that will take it and share it on all your platforms, but it doesn't include the different social media. Yeah, like the different hashtags that I would use on Instagram is not what I would use on Twitter. So it takes a little bit of extra time, but if you are someone that's using multiple platforms, I recommend posting separately on all of them.
Yeah.
Blue Sky, it's invite only right now. They're super like exclusive, and you only get one invite every 2 weeks to share out with people, but it is actually still like thriving. Like, a lot of people are kind of deciding, do I want to do Blue Sky or Threads? So it is one that people are on.
And I do notice with both Threads and Blue Sky, it truly is educators, authors. I mean, maybe I see one or two crazies there, and like people who are trying to follow me. I'm like, no, I don't know who you are. I don't care that you love doves. You're not talking about education or books. Delete. And so I'll delete.
Be careful. Be careful who you send that code to. But yeah, people in the chat, thank you for sharing any codes. I've been trying to do that too. Discord, yes. If you have any gamer kids, they are going to be on Discord. Okay. And it is a communication tool, just like GroupMe is a communication tool. And so if you ever wanted to, so like I have a Dungeons and Dragons club, I'm starting a chess club this year. So if you want to go in and create a thread under those topics, you can definitely share that with kids and start like one on books, or however you want to use those. But they're great communication platforms that aren't necessarily social media, but they're ways that you can engage your audience.
But I would say with Discord, you want to be careful. You want to get another adult in there with you, another educator, because if not, you could type the wrong thing and then they're going to be like, oh, and then no. So I love GroupMe because for my reading committees that I'm on, we use that to communicate throughout the week. Hey, I just finished reading this. Hey, I just saw this while I was at ALA. I think we should get it. So another great communication, just another app to add to your computer or your phone. Okay.
Be Real. So when Be Real came out last summer, it was it exploded. Like we're both middle school, so like obviously our students were freaking out when Be Real went off and all this stuff. And so I was like, how can we use it for us? So what I thought, and I wrote like a blog about it on my website, was that we can use it to advocate for what our job is. So many people think that we sit at the desk and we read, and that could not be further from the truth. And so whenever it catches you, like Be Real will go off and you have 2 minutes to take your photo during that time of what you're doing right now. Doesn't have to have the filter, the pretty, all of those things. Like and I love that for the kids, because it lets them know that, hey, they can put themselves out there in the world and not worry about so much what they look like or having the perfect angle or any of that stuff. So it can work for us too. And we can be like, oh, I was shelving that day when you caught me on the Be Real, or, oh, I was eating lunch with students, or, like it's just a way to kind of advertise what you do in a normal day.
Yeah. But it's nice when it catches us during the day, not like when I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
But most of the time,
I'm
I
reading.
always make sure I have my iPad or a book with me. As soon as I see it go off, I'm like, okay, let's show off what I'm reading or whatever. But
Yeah.
when we're in our offices and I'm cataloging or I'm covering, here, boom. If I actually happen to have the kids with me and we're doing something, I can catch them. So it's fun. Wakelet, my baby. I love Wakelet. I know you all know I'm like a Wakelet nut. I did a session on Wednesday night, so I know the video is out there. It's just such a great curation platform. I share all my Canva stuff onto there, which is really nice. The integration with like 45 other apps is just, it mind blows. I create like a calendar. I keep track of everything that I've done throughout the year. I have a planning calendar so I can refer back, but then I also use it for and I talked about it on Wednesday, my year in review for my principal when she's doing my evaluation. Here's the link. This is everything I did. And the thing that's nice is boom, I can use it right on my phone. It's great. And then Facebook.
The Boomer app. I don't use
Yeah.
it at all.
She doesn't
I'm
use
sorry.
it.
But you can
Yeah.
create a page, you can have your library on there, you can recommend books. There was a time that I did have it connected to my Instagram and it was great because it was easy to share. I don't
Yeah.
use it anymore though.
I use it just for like librarian groups, and then I get crap from my family. Why are you not? Because it's just, no, I don't. Just stop. So I go to like Christina has the School Librarians Rock. I have the Canva for educators, school librarian toolbox. So I like to find those groups that I can go get ideas from. So Facebook is kind of whatever.
But yes, your
It's there.
admin is going to be on there. I'm sure your district is going to be there for sure.
Oh yeah.
So,
This year I've already gotten like 6 requests and I'm like, I barely know you. Nice that I work with you, but I'm just like, I don't know. Okay.
All right, so we're going to skip the next slide really fast.
I'm skipping through.
They all start playing. And those are just examples of how I've used book recommendations or the filters. But I wanted you to have it in case when you want to look at it later. But yeah, y'all don't want to watch all my dancing.
That was that crazy noise. So you can go back and look at all our videos. I was like, wait, what is that? Talking about Canva, all the different ways that we create our posts out there. That video right here, that's one of my First Line Fridays to get you an idea how I use Canva. Amanda does all of her book recommendations. I'm sure you've been seeing them now with back to school. It's been like, oh, this is great. This is what I was looking for. I will tell you, she and I text each other constantly and she's like, okay, what should I do now? I'm like, all of it, just do it all. And so we bounce back and forth about what is the latest thing? What is the latest craze? And then she will go and do the research. She'll create it, make it copyable, and I'm able to take it and fit it towards what I might have in my overdrive or in my collection. So, yeah.
Yes, Katie, thank you. Shout out Barbie on my Barbie.
Yeah, and Barbin, how do you say it? Barbenheimer?
Yeah, Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
I did a Barbenheimer one because I'm going to do that display when we get back, a pink and black books,
So these are all the different ones that just to get an idea of what we've done out there. And then the hashtags. We created this. This is most, I would say, of what we use. Is that right?
Yeah. Then you can add in like, the middle grade, the MG lit, the middle grade books, how we have YA lit, YA fiction. So all of those, whatever the book is that you're doing, put the genre, put the topic and add that too.
And it's great too, when you have the time to read those adult books. When we both do it, when we post out on Instagram, big old fat letters, adult book. So, I don't want another 6th grader coming to me asking me about a spicy book or asking me about a coho. So we'll put those Colleen in there. And Amanda's really good too. She will, if not in her review, she also puts the content warnings in there, which is kind of good too. So nobody questions anything. You're like, here, this is what it was about.
Yeah.
You can let your kid read it or not. So that's all there for you to use. Please feel free to use it.
And
And
these are
then
people
ugh,
that we follow that
Yeah.
post other book reviews, that post things about being in the library, to give you some ideas, because these are just our ideas. But like, honestly, you can get on there, see what other people are doing, and make it your own. The Mead Reader posts we actually got from, why can't I think of her name? Oh my
Melissa.
gosh. Thank you, Melissa Corey.
Or yeah, yeah.
Out of, yes, and she created the actual graphic or whatever, and then we have just taken it and I've used it like a million times.
Yeah.
So shout out to her, because
Yeah,
honestly,
she's great.
like, we just take these ideas and we make them our own, or we take something that's popular and we
Yeah.
make it bookish. So
And Instagram is really great for that, for ideas. I saw somebody today, it was a kindergarten teacher, and I am a Ted Lasso freak. And she had the most incredible, I don't know if she created or not. It was all the characters with all like the lessons that they've learned, like kind. And under Roy, it said grow with a little L for growl. And I was just like, please, can I have that template? Because I would print that thing out and post it in my library, because it has such wonderful lessons that the kids could, learn from. And arcs.
yeah, we definitely both read a lot of digital arcs, and then you post about them and it does get some attention, and it gets some buzz created for that author, for that book that's coming out soon. My kids are like, when is this in the library? And I'm like, I'm working on it. So as soon as it comes out, that's what we can get it out there.
Yeah. And that's how Amanda and I also connect with authors too, because then all of a sudden they follow you. And then you're asked to beta read. I beta read for 3 or 4 authors. Amanda does too. And it's just like wonderful, because we're getting their book out there as a librarian. So definitely always tag the publisher and the author if you can, if they have an Instagram. I'm finding it was interesting. I had posted out on X, whatever, about the bookmarks, and 2 of the authors are already gone. They're only on what is it, Threads, Blue Sky, and Instagram now. It's like, oh, that's interesting. So they're starting to shift over to these.
Never
So
sleep.
we run that.
Skip Project Lit. You can go look at that later. Project Lit's great. It shows diverse books. You can go and look through those that they put out every year. And then lastly, Deb, on the last screen, it should be our stuff. So I hit it right at 3. Casey?
There you go. We did it, Casey.
You did. You do have a question in the Q&A from Nairi, I think it is. Can you filter when B.Real comes on and off, like only 7 a.m. to 5 p.m.?
You can turn off your notifications. Like if I put myself on do not disturb, I won't hear it. Cause sometimes it goes off at 11 o'clock at night and I'm like, we're teachers. I must sleep. So don't be getting any pictures at that point. But you can't filter in the app the time, but I'll just turn on do not disturb before I go to sleep, so I don't get the notification.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I always learn something new whenever I watch you guys present together. And you all are able to do it. Y'all did it within 28 minutes.
Yep.
Ooh, boy. All right. Deb Zeman, Amanda Hunt, I know you gave everybody your contact information so they can get in contact with you. Give them some love in the chat. Also go on social media, whatever channel you're on, and also that they're on, and give them some love, because good God Almighty, they gave us some really good information. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Casey.
All righty. Take care.